Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to my childhood bedroom. Guys, I'm gonna be so honest. This is my second time recording this video because the first time I recorded it, I neglected to turn the microphone on, and then I sat down to edit, and you could not hear me speaking at all. So, lucky for you, I am recording again. I'm going to be very quick because I've already got my script in my head down. So today we're doing 3 things. We are unhauling all the books that I brought home from Tallahassee that I don't need anymore. Then we are going through my bookshelves and cleaning out. And then we are deciding what books I want to bring back up with me in the hopes that I read them. So let's get started. But actually, before we do that, I'm just going to give like a little quick haul of everything I've bought while home because believe it or not, the shopping in Tallahassee kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. So, yeah, let me give you a haul of everything I've bought so far. Okay. So, as I said, the shopping up in Tallahassee kind of sucks. So, I kind of waited till I got home to do a lot of like clothes shopping and that sort of thing. And I've actually now realized that the things that I was going to talk about, I have just put in the wash to wash because I finished recording the video and thought, yay, I'm done. So I don't have those pieces right now, but I'll go down a list. I got a cute little like white halter kind of flowy summer top that it does give very 2010s Tumblr boho, but when I put it on with like my little dark wash low rise, yep, you can see baggy jeans. Sorry, it really kind of ate. I'm not gonna lie. And then I got a little turtleneck with like a William Morris print on it, and it's so cool. I love it so much. It's very like whimsical fantasy medieval vibes, which is what I'm about, what I'm here for. So besides the clothes that I bought, I also went to the secondhand bookstore because a lot of the bookstores up in Tallahassee are like small businesses, which I don't have a problem supporting small businesses, but I do like a good deal. I like a bargain. Today I went to the like used bookstore, and I got this book, Married by Dusk by Brianne Wick. It's kind of a short little novella, which I really liked as kind of a palate cleanser because update on me and Rebel Witch, we're fighting. It's really not hard to get through, it's just I'm having a hard time getting through it. I'm just having a hard time getting through it. I'm not sure why, especially since I have so much leisure time on spring break, but I picked up a novella to cleanse my palate after I'm done. And this sounded really interesting. It's an arranged marriage between two, like, enemies, a pampered princess and a dark prince. Yeah, so this was really cute. I also didn't realize until I got home that there's like a cutie little illustration on the inside. It reminds me a bit of the person who does the illustrations for like Margaret Rogerson, and like I think also it might be the same person who did the Wings of Starlight cover. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But you know what what artist I'm talking about if you know like Margaret Rogerson particularly, because I think she uses a lot of their art on their covers. But yeah, so that's the one book I got. This I got at Goodwill. I got The Bards of Bone Plain by Patricia A. McKillop. And she's supposed to be kind of a she is supposed to be kind of a pivotal, groundbreaking feminist fantasy writer. I've heard a lot about this author and how she is pivotal in the fantasy scape for women. I also have her book Alphabet of Thorn, which I got at the same place I got Married by Dusk. Um, I haven't read that. I haven't read Alphabet of Thorn yet, but I just figured I'd add to the collection and just pick up another one, especially because, I mean, come on, look at the art on these covers. Gagged. I'm so in love with this kind of fairy tale style of cover. But yeah, so those are the books that I got. And I also, yeah, I'll show this off because I think it kind of matches the book vibe. I got this bag from my place of work because they gave us a 50% off coupon for like employees. And I just love bags that kind of fit books so nicely. Like, look, so nicely. Just like a little hug, like a little book sleeve. Like, this is for the book girls. Um, and it is obviously like a crescent bag, kind of like the bagoos that were really popular. I just never bought a bagoo. I probably could have, but like I got this one for 50% off, and then I also had a bunch of rewards. But yeah, I got it in this really pretty blue color. I was between this and the mauve, but the blue is just so lovely and gorgeous. And it's got 10 billion pockets. Yeah. And I used it today. Can confirm. Love it. So I also brought home a bunch of books that like I've finished or I don't need to have anymore just to make space for books that I do want to bring back up. I like already reshelved all these books, so I'm not going to go through and pull them down. I will just insert a picture here. And some of these you might have already heard me talk about in my last video because I kind of did like a what I've currently read as of then. Newsflash, I haven't read anything else because I've been struggling my battle through Rebel Witch. I make it sound like the book is hard to read or that it's bad. It's a good book. It's very good. Um, but anyway, so the first book that I brought home was The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, which I finished. Yeah, I just don't need it up there with me anymore, especially because I actually went to Target to see if they had The Prisoner's Throne. They didn't. So I'm going to have to go on like a hunt to find the sequel, unfortunately. And I need to get it before I don't want to read it anymore just because I had such a not fun time with The Stolen Heir. I just need to read it and be done. So I need to go on a hunt to find that. But yeah, I brought The Stolen Heir home. And then on that same note, I brought home Heartless Hunter because I brought it up with me so that when Rebel Witch released, I like had the first book to go back through and like reference things that happened. And now that the sequel's out, I obviously don't need the first book anymore. So I brought it home. And then the other book I brought home was Frankenstein. I had my mom send it up to me because I thought I would need it to reference for my English class for a research paper I was writing. But I ended up like switching topics. So yeah, and also the research paper has passed, so I don't need the book with me anymore. And for that research paper, I was writing on Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood, which I have talked about. Um, Very good book. If I hadn't annotated it, I probably would be unhauling it, just because I can't see myself rereading it or continuing the series. It works very well as a standalone, and yeah. But I brought that home as well because I don't need it anymore. And then the last book I brought home was a reread for the book club that I'm in for my honor society, and that was If We Were Villains by ML Rio. And because for me it was a reread, I've already read it, obviously. Because it was a reread for me, I actually didn't end up rereading it. I just kind of wanted my copy with me to like have and look at while we talked about it. So yes, I think yeah, those are all the books that I brought home. And yeah, I just really want to make space for other books, especially because, when I packed up books, I wasn't reading a lot, and now I'm out of my reading slump. Although Rebel Witch, I don't know, it might put me back in. It's just so let me finish the book before I speak too heavily on it. But yeah. So now that all that's done, I am going to go through my books, all of my shelves, the many of them that there are, and just kind of pick out books that I don't want to read, I don't think I will read in the future at all, so on and so forth. Okay, so I've gone through all my shelves and I have picked out quite a stack of books to unhaul. Like I said, or if I haven't said it, this has been a very long time coming of just cleaning out my shelves. I tend to get into moods where I think I'm going to become like a thriller reader or a nonfic reader. And at the end of the day, what do I return to? Fantasy? Yes, that's right, fantasy. A lot of these books are either like gifted, thrifted, or just books that I've either read or had on my shelf for so long that like I'm not gonna read them. So the first, actually, let me do both of these. I'm a big Pride and Prejudice fan, so I get a lot of Pride and Prejudice themed gifts sometimes. And I have these two retellings that I don't think I'll ever read. I'm not a big reader of classic retellings, or at least I've never read them, just because they don't like strike my interest. So yeah, we are getting rid of these. And I am getting rid of this essay collection by David Sedaris. This is a thrifted one. Um, yeah, I wanted to be like an essay reader. I'm not. I'm not a lit fic reader, unfortunately. And another essay collection by Arthur Miller. I thrifted this because I really love All My Sons, Death of a Salesman, The Crucible, just like Arthur Miller's plays. So I thought the essays would be good, and I did not read them because, again, I'm not an essay reader. Unhauling this gigantic book, which is the Iliad and the Odyssey together. I'm just getting rid of this because I really want to get the translation by, and I don't remember her name. It's Emily, it might be Emily Russell. Um, her translations are like all the rage, and I've always wanted to read the Iliad and the Odyssey. I've just never done it. And I think if I get her translations, like, I will. Then I am also getting rid of The River of No Return. Even though it's such a gorgeous cover, this has been on my shelf for probably 3, 4 years. And it's like a historical fiction, but they're like time jumpers. Like they can jump through time, I guess, or time travelers. It like sounds interesting, but I don't know. I've obviously it's been on my shelf for 3 years and I haven't read it, so it's gone. And then I'm also getting rid of The Memory Police. I have actually read this, and I just don't think lit fic is for me. I don't think it's for me. This book was like fine. I don't have any big opinions on it. And then Tenders the Flesh, I'm getting rid of because I am not a fan of horrifying horror gruesomeness. I got this because I thought it was like a dystopian sci fi. And then I heard everyone talking on TikTok about it, about how it was so gag worthy. And I will also be getting rid of this book that I thrifted, which is like a thriller. They're house swappers, and thriller murder mystery things ensue. Again, I thought I would be a thriller reader for a little bit. I love thriller and mystery TV shows and movies like Gone Girl, Yellow Jackets, Sharp Objects, etc. I just don't know that I would enjoy it as a reading genre. I've tried and have failed. I have a copy of Gone Girl. I love the movie so much, and I just keep rewatching the movie, so I don't need the book. And then I'm getting rid of this book, which I read last year, An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I read this and I did not like it. I was between getting this book and Sorcery of Thorns, and I ended up getting this book because I thought the premise of it sounded interesting, and I wish it was good. and I wish it was good. It's such a gorgeous book, like, it almost makes me want to keep it, but I just don't want to be disappointed every time I see it on my shelf. Remember the disappointment that I had. And then I'm getting rid of One Day. I bought this at Target on a whim. I'm not I just get so bored by these kind of books, unfortunately. Like, I tried to read Normal People. I tried to read Alone with You in the Ether. I just don't I think I have to be in a such a specific mood to read these, and it's such a fleeting mood that it's not worth it for me to keep it on my shelf. And then Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire. I got this when I was taking theater in high school. Never read it. Don't need it anymore because I don't think I will read it. I'm getting rid of my only copy of Little Women, but this one is so gigantic that I'll just pick up a different copy at a thrift store sometime in the future because it's so gigantic and I don't need it. And finally, I'm getting rid of two art books. Um yeah, these are just I just don't reference them enough. I thrifted both of these. One of them is about the architecture of the Vatican City and the other is art in America. And it's not like painting art, it's more like graphic design, sculpture, so on and so forth. I just don't reference these enough to justify their position on my shelves, so they're gonna go. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do is give like a little mini, and by mini I mean genuinely tiny haul of like what I'm just gonna take up with me when I go back up. So the first book I'm obviously gonna take up this, just so it's like a little bit of a palette cleanser again, like I said, and it's so tiny, might as well, you know? And then on that same note, I will be taking up Angela Carter's The Bloody Chamber. Again, super tiny. And I want to read this. I've been kind of really into Angela Carter and just really poetic retellings of fairy tales. And in my English class right now, we're doing a section on creative writing. So I want to have like a reference for the kind of writing that I am trying to do, which is Angela Carter's incredibly poetic and beautiful writing. And then finally, I will be taking Divine Rivals up with me. I have had this on my shelf for probably, no, maybe not that long, a year, I think, or under a year. Um, I've heard great things about this. I have just never been fully in the mood to read it, but I think I am. Also because someone in my theater class was reading this and was talking about it, so now I have to read it. And I already have a copy, so yeah. So those are the three books that I will be bringing up with me. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you like me, you like the books I talk about, you like to hear me yap, um, I don't know, consider subscribing maybe, leaving a like, tuning in again. Who knows? I do plan on doing one more like hometown centered video. I'm going to go around to a bunch of little free libraries and see what kind of things we can pick up there. And then we will be back up in Tallahassee. So, yeah, thanks so much for coming along on my spring break, spending some time in my room. And yeah, I hope to see you again. Have a great day. All right. Bye bye.